Welcome back. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phono, Dr. Sayed Sabry, climate change expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Sabry, what do we mean by adapting to the adaptation to climate change?
We know that the climate change has many impacts regarding the effect of the high temperature, the extreme events, and the sea level rise, and the shortage of the rainfall and the water resources. So all this will impact the humanity, the human being, regarding the high temperature and the heat waves, the cold waves, the extreme weather events will affect the food security and will affect the crops productivity, and of course this will have an adverse impact on the human being regarding if there is heat waves will affect also the health of personnel, especially the older people and the children.
Yes.
In addition to many other different impacts on the water resources and even on the touristic activities, all this needs to be adapted. I mean, these impacts we need to adapt to these impacts of climate change in order to minimize the impacts of this climate change on our different economic activities. We have to impact and to take adaptation measures to comply with these impacts of climate change.
Yes.
This is what's meant by adaptation to climate change.
Yes. So also, how to see the importance now the Ministry of Environment is working with the United Nations Development Program to work out, to come out with a plan to combat the climate change. So what are the features of this plan?
The main features of this plan is we should have a national adaptation plan. Of course, national adaptation plan is the main part of the climate change, national climate change strategy. Egypt climate change strategy 2050 has two main arms. One, the first goal is to have an sustainable economy with low carbon content, okay, with low carbon emissions. And the other is to adapt to climate change, or to have a national adaptation plan to adapt to climate change impacts, because Egypt is one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change impacts, starting from the sea level rise, which will affect the northern coast of Delta, and also the increase of high temperature of the climate in Egypt, and in addition to extreme weather events like heat waves, cold waves, also sandstorms, and other effects, as I mentioned, on the biodiversity of Egypt.
Yes.
So there is an importance to have a strategy, and the national adaptation plan. And this, as I mentioned, is the second arm of implementation of the Egypt strategy for climate change to 2050.
Yes. So also, Dr. Sabry, the plan requires the participation of all society. So what is the role of the society and of spreading awareness to this adaptation?
We know that the fifth goal of the Egypt climate change strategy 2050, the fifth goal is the importance of the research, the academia, the awareness and the civil society participation, because this is very important in order to implement effectively the two main goals. I mean, about the economy, sustainable economy with low carbon economy, and also the adaptation plan. There is a very important role of the civil society, including the academia, research centers, and all the people within the country. Everyone has a role to deal with the climate change. And we can give many examples regarding the women issue even in the house, managing the sustainable consumption, and also in the industry, sustainable production, and the teacher in the school to raise the awareness regarding the climate change and preserving the environment. I mean, everybody has its own role in the civil society, because without civil society, we cannot implement any of the what have been mentioned regarding the mitigation or reducing the carbon emission or adaptation to climate change.
Yes, what are, Dr. Sabry, what are the most important risks that Egypt is exposed to?
The most important risk is the sea level rise, that it is categorized for Egypt, sea level rise, because this will affect the northern coast and the fertile lands near to the northern coast, in addition to the decrease in the water budget, and there will be a water scarcity because we have a limited budget of water, and in the same time there is a continuous increase in the population, in addition to this expected scarcity of water due to climate change. And this is will affect, of course, in addition to the decrease in water content, will affect to the crop productivity. So all this will affect directly the food security, and this is the most important issue, and this is, I think, one of the head threats threatening the Egypt, food security, and because of the water scarcity and the high temperature increase, in addition to extreme weather events. Above all is the sea level rise, which will affect the northern coast of Egypt in Delta.
Yes, also, what are the most sectors that are going to be affected most in Egypt? You've just mentioned also the areas that is going to be affected, like the north coast, but what are the sectors that are most affected?
The first one is the agricultural sector. This is the first one. Then, of course, related to water research sector, in addition to tourism sector, and followed by health sector. Okay? Above all, we should see that all are participating in the economic and the economy of the country. All this will be, affecting each other and governing each other to affect the overall economy of Egypt.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Sayed Sabry, climate change expert, thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break and I'm going to be back with you.